now, coming to you live from atop the Lavender Town Radio Tower, it's the one, the only, PoGo.
It's PoGo! PoGo! It's PoGo! PoGo! Pokemon Underground Champions League, oh yeah! PoGo! PoGo.
Welcome to another episode of the PoGo Podcast. I am your host, Trainer Thatch. Here today with my wonderful co-host, we've got the one and only Lord Jushiro.
Hello, hello, hello.
And we've got Clod9, bubbly as ever.
Hello, everyone.
And welcome to the PoGo Podcast, the Pokemon podcast, where we talk everything Pokemon, from the trading card game to the video game to the computerized battle stadium using the Hasbro Think Chip playset. Here, we've been a podcast since 2007. Puckle, of course, a nonsensical name we came up with, standing for the Pokemon Underground Champions League. All right, well, with that out of the way, this is the beginning of the show. This is New Year. Well, I guess technically last episode was the first episode of the New Year, though it was recorded in 2023.
Ooh,
this is the I know this is the first one that was recorded in 2024.
Yeah. New year, new me.
New year, same podcast, probably.
Same game.
Oh no.
Same game until February 27th, where they do the great ires of capitalism and make us want more.
Yep.
Yeah, but I'm excited for it though.
No. I am as well. I'm excited what they see. I'm kind of hoping there's a curveball, but I think that's kind of what the topic is today, so I don't want to get too deep into it. I'm kind of hoping there's some kind of curveball, but this week I haven't done too much. Actually, I did a lot of Pokemon stuff. Actually, I lie. I did buy some TCG cards for myself. I went and finally did my Paradox Rift buy list. I finally went out and just bought everything for it.
I did a bunch of stuff for that today because I was like, oh, what am I still missing? Like, what might be useful in the future? And then I was like, all right, cool, let me grab these just because it was cheap.
Exactly. I think I bought like Roaring Moon, the stuff I need for Roaring Moon. I bought Golden Go. I know it's not good right now, but I think it's kind of fun.
I bought it for post rotation. I just got
I think post rotation
4 Sandy Shocks in case that becomes viable post rotation, and then I got extra Mew because the promo Mew is cheaper than the actual Mew, and I'm like, all right.
Oh yeah. No, I wish I could. I should probably just go buy more 151 like product in general. I just really like opening those packs. They make me feel really happy on the inside.
I realize I don't need anything from it besides I love the energies. I love the Cosmic
I know.
Hollow, so
the energies are real pretty. I'm not gonna lie. I am kind of excited to see if what the energies look like in the next set, because they do change every block. Like the energy designs will change every block.
I'm just a big fan of the Cosmic Energy, so like I'm just gonna keep this Cosmic Hollow and keep stocking up on a bunch of them.
Have they brought back double colorless yet?
No. So because the game's been like accelerating like crazy, Juice, like, because I think the last time you played it was the last time I played it before I got back into it.
Yeah.
Like double colorless, it would be 1000% busted now, I think.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So what they did is they, instead of double colorless, they came out with a card that's functionally the same, called Double Turbo Energy, which provides double colorless energy. But if you attach double turbo energy, your attacks do 20 less damage. So it helps balance the game a little bit in that you're getting that energy acceleration, but you're getting it at a cost. And you might not be able to pick up the KO because you're like, most numbers right now in the TCG are very, very tight. Like you have to hit like 330 or you have to hit 280. And it's really, if you're not hitting those numbers exactly, like right on the dot, you're going to end up missing a KO or something. So it's a good time though. It's a good time. So double, I'm wondering if one day we will get DCE back, but I think that'll be like after all of the Sword and Shield cards rotate.
Yeah, there's too much power in the format. Like, I hate to say I want it to slow down, but like you have to then tank a full year.
No, it would also be gross, like, while Lugia's still in the format. Mm-hmm. Like, I think a proper double colorless energy would make Lugia broken again. Like, it would be part of the issue for Lugia.
How many times have Lugia been broken? This is news for me.
Lugia last year was like best deck in format for good reason. because of all of the special energy that was available in the format. Because what Lugia can do, it's not just Lugia, it's Lugia and Archeops. Lugia V-Star can bring back 2 colorless Pokemon from your discard pile onto your bench. They don't have to be basics, they can just be any colorless Pokemon. So Archeops is a colorless Pokemon right now.
Okay.
And so you just play Archeops, you don't play the Archons, you don't play the Fossils, anything. And what you do is you just discard your 2 Archeops, and then you V-Star to get the 2 Archeops on the bench. And the 2 Archeops will allow you to pull up to 2 special energies per Archeops.
Oh, wow.
From your deck and just attach them.
Wow.
And that's enough to power up a Lugia in a turn, but also it was really gross when we had like typed special energies, right? Like,
because then you can make anything happen.
Yeah, like when we had speed energy, you could use a crazy number of Pokemon and just do crazy things. It was insane. And so it just gave Lugia like a crazy toolbox powerhouse that was just insanely good. Rotation thankfully killed it because most of the special energies it was leaning on were from the block that rotated. So it took a huge hit at rotation, but pre-rotation it was just a monster.
Wow, that sounds cool though.
Yeah, it's like still okay. I wouldn't call it broken, but it's still okay. I think people I just don't know if people know how to really optimally play it now because a lot of people have kind of discounted it.
There's also like a single card that makes it almost invalid.
Iron Hands is not as good as a lot of people think it is. It
is actually very good.
It is not as game breaking as I think people think it is.
It's not as game breaking, but it does hinder that deck.
It also Ampu very much also doesn't one shot the Lugia V-Star.
Not immediately, correct.
It does not. You need to KO with Ampu very much for it to actually matter.
Yes, I know. I'm just saying, with Miraidon being so heavily popular right now, it has.
Yeah, Miraidon's just. I mean, Miraidon needs to be a better deck.
It's that and Charizard.
Charizard's good. I think Charizard's actually pretty good.
Charizard's the best deck in the format.
Yeah, I think Charizard's just a very. Charizard. Well, it just came out like in August. So
this is a new Charizard.
This is a new Charizard. This is the Charizard that came out in Obsidian Flames.
Gotcha.
It's very good. It's very good. Especially with some of the support it's recently gotten in Paradox Rift, it's pretty decent. So it's not a bad deck at all. Like if you honestly, Jushiro, it's also easy to play, which is kind of the crazy part about it.
The problem.
So Jushiro, if you want to get back into it, I would recommend Charizard.
Yeah. Is that the same Charizard that is included with the TCG Online?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if it is anymore because we're in Paradox Rift now, but
okay.
It might be. I don't know. It's the Charizard EX. It's the Dark type one.
Yeah. That's the one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the Dark type Charizard EX. Yeah, that one is very good. Like, I can send you some deck lists. It's also just a fun deck to play. It's just a fun deck to play. But yeah, we took up all that talking about TCG. How did everybody else do? Anything you have fun over the holidays, over New Year's? Anything Pokemon or not Pokemon even?
I got sick over the holidays.
Oh no.
Ooh.
Are you better now?
Oh yeah.
Okay. I mean, obviously, you don't sound awful, but like...
No.
And we're doing the show, and we've been talking all week. I didn't even know you got sick. You didn't tell me.
Well, it was over the holidays.
That's fair.
So it was like Christmas time. So I'm like, all right, well, that was the thing.
That sucks.
And, ever since I came back, if people have been paying attention to the Puckle, I've been going back to the Radical Red stream. I'm having way too much fun with it.
I have noticed that, yeah. I was going to stream on Wednesday, but I ended up working like super late, so I'm kind of happy that you ended up doing it randomly.
Hey, I did, I think, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday this week because I was having fun with it. And I'm probably, after we're done recording, I'll go eat lunch and come back and probably do some more because
go for it.
I really enjoy the Nuzlocke idea of Pokemon and having to actually plan and prep properly.
No. I mean, they kind of pseudo did that in the DLC, right? Like, I would argue you had to do some prep work before you went into the Blueberry Elite Four,
Oh, sure.
At least in team design, right? Like, it's not as stringent as like, oh man, I got to make sure I EV these guys the proper way, blah blah blah.
Yes,
but
a little bit.
It was definitely far more strategic than a typical Pokemon game.
Yes, I love it.
True.
And that's what I've been spending doing all my holidays, honestly. The DLC.
The DLC was good. Thing. Yeah, the DLC was good. It just
absorbed me back more than the previous DLC tried to. It's just so much fun.
Oh, no. Yeah, Kitakami was like an appetizer. Like, it felt like an appetizer to this. This was like the main course.
All right, I've realized after going through both of them, the teal mask was awful. I will say it. I thought it was bad.
Really?
I did not like the story that we had to go through.
Mm-hmm.
I love the whole like ogre pawn line. I still don't like Karen. I still don't like the other girl.
Yeah, I'm kind of bummed that they were trying to give us new characters so hard.
Like I understand, like they did a lot of like character work for Karen because you wanted to see the transition between 1 and 2.
It was a little forced. Forced.
I don't care. I don't like it.
They took some player agency away there too, and they made you lie to him and everything.
Yes, that is true. I do feel like there should have been an option, to be honest.
Yeah. They took away some player agency, which didn't go over too well.
No. And, I mean, it is what it is, but, like, I enjoyed Teal Mask a lot. I still run through the Teal Mask just because I like the whole design of it a whole lot more.
I like the Pokemon they brought back in it.
Yep. Like, it made me want to play VGC for a little bit, and then I realized, I don't want to grind out raids for shards.
Oh, no, but the DLC, like, the Blueberry Academy fixed that, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Really? For raids? To get, like, the shards?
Not just raids. Like, if you just play the game, you just pick up, like, 50 shards all the time.
Yeah, they're all over the place.
Yeah.
I'll have to just go find more, because I was doing that for a couple of days, and I still am like, I only have, like, 20-something of these shards, and I don't have any battle raid-ready mons, so I gotta go make them, and...
There's also in the cave in Area 0, after you do the whole Terrapagos thing, there is an area that you can unlock by finding a Terra Garchomp, like another area, that just has all the shards, like, at least 50 of them per type, yeah.
I need to go back there. I haven't gone back there.
Well, I might need to go do that, and then I can probably do it all.
Yeah, then you don't have to do raids. Yeah, no, raids are like the most inefficient way to do it. Literally, you just go run around the terrarium, and you just pick up all of the shiny things you see, and you will have 50 faster than doing raids.
Alright, we'll see.
I've been enjoying raids. I mean, raids has become the main source of entertainment in the current Pokemon game, more than battling, because, I don't know, it's a great solo thing. Although I know it's not supposed to be, but I just love training Pokemon to just solo 5-star raids.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. No, I'm actually pretty hyped for VGC now. Like, I haven't been really into VGC until this DLC, and it's very exciting. I kind of want in.
I found a team the other day, and I just started playing it.
Yeah, that's what I did too.
Just because I was like, let's see how this works.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there's a lot more to this format than I expected.
This format's pretty good. I actually, like, so far at least, I really like this format.
Because, like, in my mind, I'm like, all right, if I were to play, like, right now, I'm like, all right, I would want to use these 3 mons and then find something else that goes with this. And it works. So. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to cut us off here. That way we don't go on forever. But we're going to go kick it on over to the news, though. So let's cue that epic music.
Live from the Lavender Town Radio Tower. This just in.
Welcome to the news. In the news, there's honestly very little. First of all, to tie in with Pokemon Concierge, there's now Pokemon icons on Netflix. You know, the icons for your little profile.
I got my Furret, and I'm thrilled.
God.
I've never been so much happier for the. Like, if you haven't seen Pokemon Concierge, by the way, it is a great 4-episode miniseries. It's all stop motion. It's wonderful.
Yeah. I've heard nothing but good things.
It is great, and I was so happy to go through it because it's cute. It's fun.
I heard it was surprisingly good. I have not watched it yet. I heard it was surprisingly good though.
It got like a really good rating on Rotten Tomatoes, and I was like, okay, maybe I should check this out.
Yeah, and I think I saw like an IGN or GameSpot article where it's like, Pokemon Concierge, you know, they should really go this direction with Pokemon, with the stop animation and all that. It's just, it was charming to no end.
It's not necessarily the stop animation. It looks cool. It was well done because stop animation takes so incredibly long.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, it does. But yeah, no,
it's great.
It's been actually very, very cool to see. So on Scarlet and Violet size, it turns out the crit doesn't reset on switching out, so Dragon Cheer has been banned from events until the mid-January update we're going to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, next week we actually get the epilogue too, which is very exciting. So we will get the epilogue next week as well.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, the epilogue's next week. So I mean, we get to do the cool mythical thing next week.
We know nothing about that.
Yeah, nothing at all.
Nothing at all.
Don't look behind the curtain. All right. So yeah, Dragon Cheer is banned from events until they fix it. So
Okay.
I mean, that doesn't matter.
Well, in the most memeable news of the week, though, Terrakion dropped to PU alongside Pokemon like Plus or Minun.
And then it's now NU, and they just voted to not ban it. Whereas they banned Satitan, Politoed, a couple other things.
Oh my gosh.
It did not pass the ban, which I thought was hysterical.
That is hilarious. That's hilarious.
Yeah. Turns out no one used it in OU when Iron Boulder exists. And to no one's surprise, it was banned swiftly.
Yeah.
Oh, Iron Boulder was banned?
Yeah, apparently.
Yep.
All right. Well, we've got some Pokemon Go news that Claude can talk to us about.
Yeah, so for the rest of the season, Rockruff, if you catch it or hatch it, it might be able to evolve into Dusk Lycanroc.
Oh, that's actually kind of cool.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. There's the Dazzling Dream event that runs from the 13th to the 16th that adds Shiny Fly to the game. There will also be Hisuian Typhlosion raids, I think starting or just one day of January 14th, Sunday. And the Porygon Community Day is a rerun, and it's January.
Yay.
So get excited.
Also in Puckle News, for those of you who would love to give us feedback and tell me I'm doing a good or bad job, we've got our annual survey. It's in the show notes. You can go ahead and go fill it out. We really appreciate it. If we hit 300 responses, which is pretty much what we hit last year, you can go. We're going to give away a Puckle t-shirt that we did from the Puckle Patreon that we're giving away, or not giving away, but is a reward on the Puckle Patreon. You can pick up one of those free you can get a free t-shirt by filling out the survey. All you have to do is fill it out. It should only take you like 5, maybe 10 minutes, depending on how many comments you want to leave us. So we really appreciate it. So please fill out the Puckle survey when you get a chance. It helps us change the show and make it better. We've already seen from the people that have filled it out in Discord, some actionable things that we can do to make the show better. And we're hoping to try to implement those throughout the year to enhance everybody's experience. So yeah, thank you to those of you who have filled it out, and hopefully you can convince all of your friends to do it as well. So this is from Puckle's Pokey Opinion now, which is which weather strategy is your favorite to play with? And my answer to this is just rain. Rain's just easy, right? Like rain's just easy.
Yeah,
I think I'm a fan of sun.
Sun and rain are very similar. I think rain. Rain gets like way more positives, I feel like, than sun.
It does. Rain is definitely pushed a lot more than all the other ones.
Yeah, right?
It's way more concise, I think. It's like there's more specific teams, I guess, that you could like make with Ray, while sun is more varied because it includes fire and some grass.
Yeah, to be fair, no, so Rain just got like a solar beam-esque thing with Archaludon too now.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about this hyper. He
has like a meteor. He has a meteor beam move,
right? That
instead of taking 2 turns, will only take 1 in rain, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Archaludon is your new rain Pokemon, and then you could also, I don't know, I kind of miss Hail. I miss Hail being Hail. I don't know. I kind of liked it for the chip damage, because I think that's what kind of made Hail viable-ish. Granted, they've been giving Slush Rush out though, like candy. So
yes,
they've been giving Slush Rush out like candy. So and Sandstorm, I mean Sand's okay too. Like I'm not if I had to rank them myself, I would be like Rain's probably my first choice, then Sand, then Sun, and then now Snow. I think that would be my.
Did they add anything for Sand? Like, is there any new, or is it the same abilities, same things?
It's pretty much the same, I think. I don't know if there's too much new for Sand in general.
Okay.
But it is what it is. It's fine. It's fine.
Iron Boulder is still OU. It's not Bandit.
Okay. Well, don't know why that was in there then. Oh, yeah. Terrakion was promptly banned from PU. That's what it meant in the new segment. Sorry. There we go.
Oh, that's what
I was trying to I don't remember there being a lot of OU bans in the decks.
Yeah. Well, all right. Well, that was the news segment this week. There wasn't much there for you guys. We apologize. So we're going to go...
Until March, we're going to be a little dry.
Yeah, probably, honestly. The news will be kind of slow probably the next couple weeks.
Until February.
Yeah, for a couple weeks.
Okay.
But, all right. Well, we've got Puckle's Poke Quiz to get to, so let's kick it on over to Puckle's Poke Quiz, where we're going to quiz your co-host on their insane Pokemon knowledge.
Oh, hi, and welcome to the Poke Quiz, the part of the show where we quiz our co-hosts on their insane Pokemon knowledge. I'm Mark from the Dunsparce Gang, here to explain the rules. Our fabulous co-hosts will work as a team to answer 5 Pokemon-themed trivia questions that fans have submitted on the Discord server. Each question is worth 1 point, with Pokedex and multiple answer questions worth more, for a total of 7 points. The host can use a free hint at any time. If they get all the answers correct and do not use the hint, they can cash it in for an 8th point.
Welcome to Puckle's Poke Quiz. Thank you for that introduction. We're going to jump right on into it. Our first question this week is going to come to you from Fiamon. What Pokemon type has the least number of Pokemon?
Interesting.
Is it not Fairy?
No, isn't it Ice?
Could be. I don't know why I thought it was Fairy.
I think it's Ice, but I'm not sure.
Well, Fairy was the least last one added, so I thought it was that. That's where my logic comes from, but
there was a lot of there was a lot of Pokemon in the past that were switched to Fairy.
Not many.
No?
I don't think so.
Okay. Yeah, I can go with Fairy.
Something is telling me Fairy, and it's the new Terastal Stellar type. There's only one.
No Pokemon's the Stellar type.
Are you sure Terapagos would like to disagree? Sorry, I had to throw that in there.
Yeah.
But I mean, and you're not counting Shadow?
We're not counting Shadow, no. These are the 18, of the 18 types, which one has the least number of Pokemon?
Of the 18 types, okay. Yeah, something is telling me it's Fairy, but I could very well be wrong, and it could be Ice.
Okay, no, let's go to Fairy.
Alright, we'll just lock in Fairy.
Fairy is unfortunately incorrect. The answer is Ice.
It is Ice. Alright, I'm sorry, you had it. I don't know why I thought it was Fairy.
Ice has 58 Pokemon. The second least is Fairy, with 69 Pokemon. And then Ghost follows that with 73. It's crazy. It's crazy to think, one, that Dragon is not in this bottom 3, and that Ghost is that high, given that, like, between the first 2 generations, both of those had, like, 4 Pokemon total.
Right.
I'm just surprised. It's like, we added Fairy in Gen 6, and in 3 generations, we've already surpassed Ice.
Yeah, it's very easy. One, they added a ton of Fairy-type Pokemon since then.
I know.
And not to mention the number of Pokemon that were retconned. Like, you're thinking Gardevoir line, you're thinking Clefable, Wigglytuff, Azumarill. There were a bunch of retcons.
Mr. Mime. Yeah, I guess you're right.
Granbull, like, there were a ton of retcons. So I think you estimated the number of retcons there were.
I definitely did.
Yeah. All right. Well, you're 0 for 1. Your second question, and hopefully you guys could remember this, is from Smeargle19, which is, this is in all caps, so I'm gonna do the best that I can. Can you dig up all the fossil TM cards? How much HP does the original Mysterious Fossil card have?
Wasn't it just 10? Or 30?
I remember something is telling me 30, but it's definitely an odd number, and it's one of those two.
Yeah, because I know
like
the Puclpodcast was 30. But I kind of recall the Fossil being even lower than that. But I'm not entirely sure.
Like, we're talking like the original Mysterious Fossil?
The original Mysterious Fossil, the original printing.
I think you're right. I think it's 10.
I think it's 10.
Let's go with 10. I'm trusting you this time.
Jushiro was right 10. The last time too, so.
I know.
So 10 is what you're locking in? 10 is correct.
Yes.
Jushiro's usually like, I'm useless in these, and he's gotten the last 2 correct. So
I'm the one that's
I'm
useless
getting
now.
better. I've gotten myself into Pokemon YouTube Shorts, and I've been getting a lot of facts of that. It's helping me in this trivia. I saw a short saying like, "What is the type of Pokemon that has least Pokemon?" It was Ice.
You could, if you had said that, I would have believed you.
all right, so your next question is your Pokedex entry question, as always. This is going to come to you from the once and future gamer. Its Pokemon Sun Pokedex entry reads, it grows by molting repeatedly. Boots made from the tanned leather cast-off skin are a super luxury item. Who's that Pokemon?
Repeat the question again, sorry.
Can you repeat it one more time?
It grows by molting repeatedly. Boots made from the tanned cast-off skin are a super luxury item. Who's that Pokemon?
Oh man, that sounds so familiar. And it sounds like it's either crocodile or a snake, because that's a fun...
My mind went to Dratini or like I don't think Caterpie was it.
No, Caterpie, no.
But like Dratini popped into my mind because I think that's a thing.
Yeah, I mean, Pokemon, snake Pokemon shed, and they
Exactly.
And we know that snake boots is a thing that exists. That so what snake sheds, and then people make boots out of it. It could be Dratini.
I would say Dratini. I like the idea of Dratini doing that, but I could also very well be very wrong.
I want some shiny Dratini boots
That's my thought.
to go with my Barbie cowboy hat. No one got
So
the joke.
are you going with Dratini? I got the joke.
Do we go with Dratini?
Yeah, let's go with Dratini. Let's do it.
Okay, let's do it. Dratini.
Dratini is correct.
Ooh.
Yes.
That's been a long time since people got on the first try. So its Ultra Sun Pokedex entry reads, it's still weak, so it lurks on the floor of the bodies of water, eating whatever food sinks down and living a quiet life.
That's a terrible entry to get this Pokemon.
I know. But yeah, I mean, you got on the first one, so you're good.
Well, because it sounded very snake-like.
Yes.
And
Right.
I had to think of what Pokemon was in Sun and Moon because they didn't have all of them, so it became difficult.
Yeah. Well, you got it anyway. You guys are 3 for 3. Your next question is your multiple answer question. And it's going to be, I believe there are 4 answers here. I'm only going to need 3, 1 for each point. You can get up to 3 points here. This is from Shiny Mewtwo Curie. There are 4 Pokemon. When they use a particular move, different moves for each of these Pokemon, have a different attacking animation if the Pokemon using it is shiny.
Oh, what? This is the
What?
first I've ever heard of this.
Which move / Pokemon pairs does this apply to? And it applies to any game.
I am lost. I did not know this was a thing.
Okay.
And we say any game because I think they took one of them out in Scarlet and Violet, but it's fine.
So it's an attack and a Pokemon that the animation will change depending on whether the Pokemon is shiny or not?
Yes. Let me try to get you a good definition of what changing means, but I will do it.
Okay, so I do know one.
This means that like the color of the move will probably change, in that regard, right?
I mean,
like,
this is still the first I've heard. This is awesome.
yeah.
So I know of one, and I believe it's Diplin using the syrup bomb or whatever it is.
Oh, because he gets because
he's yellow, and I think it only is red.
Right.
So I think
Would
changes
you like to
his
lock
color.
that in?
I would like to lock that one in.
Syrup
confident.
Bomb and Diplin is correct.
Nice.
That's about all I knew. Okay. The rest
I would
is just
extrapolate
guessing.
off that a little bit, but you.
Okay. How about anything related with the oh my god, I forgot her name. The Pokemon you spin, the fairy it's like a whipped cream.
Creamy?
Uh-huh.
And like decorate maybe?
Maybe, yeah.
Do you want to
we
lock
get any
that in?
strikes for this, or no?
Yeah, you 3 strikes and you're out. Yeah.
Okay, then let's put in Alcremie.
Alcremie is incorrect.
Fine.
Okay.
You do have the hint, by the way, as well. Don't forget that.
You want to use the hint now?
Yeah, let's use the hints. Yeah,
Okay.
I feel more confident using the hints on this than anything else.
Yeah, I have no clue about this. I'm throwing at the wall.
Of the 3 that you're missing, one you could just extrapolate off of Diplin. Just a little bit.
Oh,
just,
so Hydrapple?
Using
Wicked
what?
Beam?
No,
sorry,
not quite. Not quite. Wicked.
Fickle.
No.
Also using the same move?
Using the same move, yes.
Okay.
Also using Syrup Bomb,
Great.
that is correct.
Yeah.
Another one is an Ultra Beast. And the other one is a Dragon-type Pokemon.
Okay.
So one thought goes
But
to
only
like
only in Sword and Shield. It only does it in Sword and Shield.
One thought was Clanger's Soul Blaze, but you said Sword and Shield, so
Yeah.
that was still in Sword and Shield, wasn't it?
It was.
Okay. So Clanger Soul Blaze is one idea that comes to my mind, but I couldn't tell you wrong.
Well, it's not Clanger as Soul Blaze, but whatever move they used to make it.
No. It is, wouldn't it be Dragapult because the Dreepy are different colors?
Are you locking that in?
Okay.
That's my guess for the Dragon type from Sword and Shield.
That is correct.
Yeah.
That is correct.
Okay.
Well, you got 3 now, so that counts. That's all of them.
No. What's the last one that you said is an Ultra Beast?
It's an Ultra
so
Beast.
So if I had to guess the Ultra Beast, what's an Ultra Beast specific move?
I have really little knowledge on the Ultra Beast, unfortunately.
It blows my mind you can't get this.
Oh, my Blacephalon.
There you go. There you go. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. All right. Well, you got 3 there, so you're 6 for 4. Your last question is your base stat question, as always.
Yes, my favorite.
This one is going to come to you from Farmer Fox. Which Mega has the highest base special defense, excluding primals? We're not including Primal Groudon or Primal Kyogre. Which
so
Mega
no primals.
Which Mega has the highest special defense of all Megas?
Oh, special defense.
Latias. Mega Latias.
Yep, I'm not even going to dispute it.
It's Mega Latias or it was Mega Gardevoir. It's one of those two.
Which one are you picking?
I think Mega Gardevoir is 135 and Mega Latias is 150.
Is that your final answer?
So Mega Latias, please.
Mega Latias is correct with 150. Next is Mega Gardevoir at 135, followed up by Mega Gyarados with 130, and then Mega Audino at 126. So you guys got 7 points today.
We missed a question and still got 7.
I mean, you can get 8. Yeah, I had the points in the multiple answer question when you guys missed one.
Yeah.
I do it every. I've done it for the past 3-4 years. Nobody's complained. So right now the standings in our race to 40, Jushiro and Clod in first place, tied with 7 points, and everybody else is at 0 because they have yet to play the game.
That will not last long.
All right. Well, if you want more Poke Quiz, tune in next week. Until then, guys, we're going to kick it on over to the topic. We have another review from iTunes from Seth Central. 5 stars, great for any Poke fan. I'm a huge Pokemon fanboy. Listening to others who have the same passion I do is beyond words. Keep up the good at work, everyone. Well, Seth Central, I appreciate that. And if you haven't left us a review yet, please do at Apple Podcast or literally anywhere else you might listen to this podcast. We really appreciate it. It helps people find the show, it helps us grow, and it helps us bring you more awesome content. So until next time, guys, I'll catch you on the flip-flop. Welcome to our topic. Our topic today is going to be Pokemon of 2024. I figured at the beginning of the new year, it's a good time for us to sit down and kind of consolidate our thoughts on what we think is possible to see from the Pokemon Company this year, and what we would like to see, our hopes, our dreams, our aspirations, and then how they'll get crushed once Pokemon Day comes.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
To get crushed?
I'm kind of hoping not to get crushed, hopefully not, but I think there's a number of things that have been, a number of ideas that have been floating around the Pokemon community. So on Pokemon Day, we're obviously going to get a mainline game, so I kind of want to get that meat and potatoes out of the way. I have some other things that I think are very possible as well. We're obviously going to get a mainline game, and I think there's a few options for that, right? something like 4 or 5 options in my mind of how this shakes out. One, there's a black and white remake of some sort.
Okay, well, I think that's the most likely.
I do too. I think that's...
And I think we should take some time on each of these, because I
do think...
I think it's important.
I think that's the most likely, which is disappointing to me.
Really?
Why is that disappointing?
I've been dying to go back to
Yeah.
If they do it like they did BDSP...
Oh, yeah.
I do not think that they can do Gen 5 justice.
Very true.
I do not think they can do Gen 5 justice by going to BDSP.
But I don't think they will do that because of how badly that sold compared to other...
It did not sell that poorly.
Really?
Have you looked at the sales numbers? No. Do you know what sold? Do you know what sold less than BDSP?
Arceus.
Yes, Arceus. You want to know? You know what? BDSP is almost sold as much as Let's Go, which came out 3 years before it itself. So BDSP is on pace to outperform Let's Go.
That's wild to me.
It received like mixed reviews, but I think a lot of the poor reviews from BDSP came from people like us, right? Who were disappointed. But you have to remember that the original Diamond and Pearl came out 15 years before that game. So the number of people who had actually played those games was not that high. Those were essentially new games for a lot of people. And I wouldn't be surprised if they went something similar. Personally, I don't think you can do a Gen 5 remake justice without also including Black and White 2, because those are such an interesting idea.
Right.
Fair enough. No, I think that makes sense.
I was going to say, what if it's Black and White 3?
That's kind of where it follows up next, right? I think Black and White 3 is kind of... I also think this is a Gen 2 early anyway for Black and White remakes, because we aren't really on a every gen gets a remake cycle anymore.
Right.
Well, I guess I'm kind of wrong, because I guess you could say like Gen 4, Gen 3, you had Gen 1 remakes, Gen 4, you had Gen 2 remakes, Gen 5, we didn't have a remake. Gen 6, we got Gen 3 remakes.
Gen 3.
Gen 7, we technically got Let's Go, which is kind of a remake.
Yeah. Gen 8, we got Gen 4.
We got Gen 4, and so maybe we get a remake this gen, maybe we don't. I don't know that it's a guaranteed thing to get a remake. If that's why I'm kind of on the fence as to whether or not it's going to happen. I would love for them to at least try to do it justice, because I don't feel like BDSP had effort to do the game's justice.
Very fair.
And that's kind of what I'm hoping for, that we see something like maybe we do get a nod. Maybe it is like a Black and White 3, which would be really cool to see the story continue.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
I think that's best of both worlds. But I don't think it serves the community of people who missed it as well. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think a Legends game from Unova would be very interesting. I think there's a lot of meat there for like a Legends game. That's kind of like next on my list is some sort of Legends game.
So I keep leaning, and I have no information to really back this up, but this is what I'm feeling since it was the first mainline game that it was made by a third party.
Yes.
I think that they were purposely they had their hands tied to what they could actually do.
I think they did. Also, there's... So I've been following a lot of like people who have that will interpret Japanese articles about what's going on that we don't get here in the US. And one of the things that came out about BDSP is typically Pokemon games will have about a 3-year development time.
Right.
Like after Scarlet and Violet launched, they had already been working on, Gen 10. Mm-hmm. Like Gen 10 is in the works right now. Next year we will probably see the fruits of that, which is wild to me to think that, but yeah, it's very wild to me to think that, but the BDSP only had a 1.5 year development time.
Wow. Yeah.
That's what I learned.
Yeah. Plus, it's a third-party company, so that probably we can't we can't get creative because
I wouldn't be surprised if Game Freak was like the parent hovering over the shoulder.
That's what I keep thinking about. Yes, that it's like Game Freak was consistently there going like, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do this. Mainly because it's the first game. It's the first game that it's the first main series game that a third-party company has made. So I'm hoping that if they do another game like Black and White, or whatever, they maybe Game Freak can release the leash a little bit, where they can actually go in and add stuff that maybe makes it more fun, because that's really the only thing that it was. It was so much like the old games that it's like,
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping that we get. I mean, I'm kind of hoping they take the critical or the praise that like Legends got and kind of lean into that too. Because if we do get, I've said this on the show several times. If we do get a Legends game or we want a Legends game, I do think Legends games pair really well with remakes. Like I think the fact that BDSP came out 2 months before Legends Arceus really enhanced Legends Arceus, at least the experience for me.
Wait, isn't it the other way around? Arceus came first?
No.
BDSP came first.
Okay.
BDSP came out in November and then Arceus came out at the end of January.
Yeah, you're right. Okay.
I believe being able to play BDSP in that 2 months before Legends Arceus came out just really enhanced the experience because you go, oh man, this is what this route looked like, you know?
Right.
This is where these Pokemon should be. And you get to see revisit all the areas that you had seen in modern times in the past. And I think that has a pretty big impact. I don't know. I think black and white remakes, I still feel like they're the most boring option of like things we could see, right?
So based on just what's happened, I have to disagree, and I don't think a Legends game is likely to come. And the reason being,
I don't think so,
because BDSP sold better than Pokemon like the Legends Arceus, which I think is criminal, which doesn't make sense and shouldn't make sense. But
no, the reason it makes sense is because there were two versions. That's the only reason. No, that is the only reason. Like I think fewer people bought BDSP. Fewer individual people bought it than Legends Arceus.
Okay, sure.
That's my opinion, right? Like
I'm saying okay, sure.
I think there's because Pokemon at this point isn't really about. I don't know how much they care about sales numbers specifically for these games. These games are icing on the cake, right? So my wonder is if they are trying to do it just to maintain the brand and the relevance of the brand. And I think Legends Arceus did more to maintain the relevance of the brand than, and I also, honestly, I think Legends Arceus might have kneecapped itself a little bit in that it was a game focusing on Arceus rather than, like, imagine if it would have been like Legends Mewtwo or something like that, right? A more recognizable Pokemon to quote unquote Gen 1ers or people who were more into that were more into it during Pokemania. I think a Pokemon Legends like Mewtwo or even Pokemon Legends Celebi or something like that, right, would have done better than Pokemon Legends Arceus.
Oh, I don't argue with that. My thought process is, though, that if they're going... it's too soon, I think, for them to do another Legends game.
Right.
That's my argument here, just because Legends Arceus came out, what, 2022?
2 years ago, almost from now. No, it came out 2022. It was January 2022.
Yeah, so we had Legends Arceus, and then there was a Legends Arceus came out, then Gen 9 came out, and now we're here.
I also would argue that the release date or the release timing of Legends Arceus also hurt its sales, right?
January, right?
Yeah, because there's post-Christmas, first of all.
True.
It's going to hurt because it's not going to gain anything from holiday sales. And on top of that, like within a month, they announced a new game. I think that does hurt it a little bit.
But I guess it shows that how much maybe... I guess maybe it shows that maybe they didn't have a lot of faith in it. And it was basically like an experimental release.
I don't want to talk about this too much as well because like it's mostly speculative, but you also have to remember COVID was happening around that time as well during the development. And so I do wonder if they had kind of just put BDSP in the chamber as like a backup plan.
Well, I think they did BDSP first because they were like, oh, let's do this because that came out for the holiday release. And then after the holidays was Legends Arceus. I
wonder, though, if Legends Arceus was supposed to come out or BDSP was supposed to come out Christmas of instead of 20. That was so Legends Arceus came out January 2022. So Christmas 2021 was BDSP. But because of COVID, I wonder if BDSP was actually supposed to be a November 2020 release. And Legends Arceus was supposed to be a November 2021 release. I don't know if that's what they did. They didn't do that. They obviously didn't do that this year, but the DLC was also rolled out a little bit slower this time. And honestly, the DLC for Scarlet and Violet was way better.
Anyways, just to get us, to wrap us back on topic and move kind of forward with it. So one thought is there will be something black and white related.
Yes.
Something in Unova.
I think that's the most likely option, just because we've seen so many ties over to Unova within the games and whatnot. Whether that's a remake, a sequel, or a trio.
We have seen a lot of Unova hints, but I think we've also seen like a lot of Johto-esque hints as well.
Yes. So that brings me to the next thing, which is Let's Go Johto.
Yeah, that's my next thing as well. I don't think Let's Go, I think, is poop, and I think they recognize that.
Okay. I'm just saying.
I don't think it's Let's Go.
But like they're not just gonna remake.
They did with Kanto. I mean, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they did that in the Let's Go style. So every remake of Kanto has been slightly different than the first.
What's one of the most like heavily praised Pokemon games right now, though? It's Heart Gold Soul Silver. I don't see why you just don't go to Ilka, who already took the Gen 4 engine and made a new game out of it, and you go, hey, here's this other Gen 4 game.
Yeah, but do we really want more chibi style Pokemon games?
I do not care about it. I do not care. I actually like it. It's fine.
Funny, and granted, I've seen a bunch of people hacking.
That was the least of the BDSP's problem was its style. Yeah.
Well, and the game engine looked like the battle engine for BDSP actually looks really good because I've seen what some people do in like importing. I was like, all right, I built some models and I imported it into the game, and they look incredible. They
are amazing. BDSP is a very pretty game.
The only problem with BDSP was that it was just a direct port for the most part.
But I think a direct port of Heart Gold Soul Silver is so easy and perfect. I think that is if they want to do something, one, I think that's a very good option. It's a direct port Heart Gold Soul Silver. I also think it's a very easy thing to go ahead, make a Johto remake of some sort. But I think if you do it, I think you should tie in like a Legends Johto, right? Like Legends Ho-Oh, Legends Lugia. Ho-Oh and Lugia are far overdue and deserve something. I think they're the only box art legends without, something.
Yeah, dedicated to them.
Yeah, without something. Because like Mewtwo's got Megas and...
I don't want them to ruin what was... like. What would they add, though? Because the big difference with BDSP is the whole Underground got remade. What would they do with, Heart Gold Soul Silver besides the moving Safari Zone?
Why do you have to add anything? It's such a good game.
I know, but, you want to build it up and make it a little bit better than it was.
Those games are, again, 14 years old at this point.
I know, and I still want... There's always ways to make things better.
I don't know. That's on them. It's not on me to just figure that out.
This is our wish list episode. This is what I want. If we're going to do it, I want it to be done,
All I require and desire is for Heart Gold Soul Silver again. I would play through that so badly.
I would play through it once.
I would probably play through it more than once. Now, what they could do is they could, actually let you put more Pokemon in than the original 493 or whatever, but which I also think is an issue with trying to directly import BD or Black and White, because Black and White's going to have 649 Pokemon, which is almost as many Pokemon as are in Scarlet and Violet, by the way. And I think if you have that, it's going to cause an issue. I do think there's a chance, though, that we just get straight Heart Gold Soul Silver port. Maybe they add something. I don't know what they add. I don't care because I don't require that for this game.
See, I would love to have something else. Granted, am I still going to, play through the whole thing and stream the whole thing? Probably. Absolutely. There is not a doubt in my mind that won't happen. But, I don't know. After playing through a bunch of the old games, it's I want a little bit more. I don't want to just go back and play the same game. If it's new models, but it's the same game, that doesn't feel right to me. I want there to be something different. At least with BDSP, I spent hours in the Underground. Because I thought I still love the Underground.
Maybe they'll do something similar to that. Maybe they'll do something similar. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. I need something that's updated or different or whatnot. I would love to have something updated. Now imagine this. All right, here's my crazy thought. Bug catching contest, but it's in the Let's Go style.
Oh, please no. I hate Let's Go. The Let's Go play style is so garbage.
Or, even if they took what they did with Scarlet and Violet, where there's no grass encounters, Pokemon are just around, and you could pick and choose your routes, that would be enough of a change for me to be happy.
Sure, maybe that's what happens. I don't know. Like I said, I don't care.
But remember that Heart Gold and Soul Silver does have 2 regions.
Yeah.
So there's plenty to explore there in what they can add in either Johto or Kanto.
And maybe they revise Kanto in some way, because the Kanto we got in Heart Gold, Soul Silver and in the original Gold and Silver were very much dumbed down just so they could fit more in.
So maybe they do a whole Kanto in it.
Yeah, we get full Kanto,
Now that would be worthwhile. Keep Johto the same and Kanto is now, a little fresher or something. Or even something as simple as adding in all of the Pokemon
That's not happening.
I know, but like it's a lot easier in the 2D in that style than it is in the other style. But like
it's the same style as Sword and Shield.
Either like revamp or like rematch teams. Like I think when you play through the normal game of Heart Gold Soul Silver, you can't fight the gym leaders again.
Yes, you can.
You can?
Yes.
Done. Or maybe you update their team so they're better.
Heart Gold Soul Silver is like the perfect Pokemon game. Like it has like everything.
I'm trying here.
You're like trying to add on to perfection. It's No,
Heart Gold Soul Silver is not the perfect Pokemon game because the grinding sucks. Levels are off.
It is the perfect Pokemon. You're just playing it wrong.
I am not. Anyways.
Yeah, I think some sort of Johto callback is the second most likely. I think there is a third likely option. I
agree. There's also a third likely option.
There's also a fourth.
Yes.
I have four. I think third is a potential. Oh, these are probably tied because I think they're both kind of far out there. Because like the other two, one of those two is probably what's happening. There's going to be a Johto callback or a Unova callback. I do think there's a chance for some kind of like Scarlet and Violet 2.
Oh, so you're thinking a brand new mainline game?
Yeah, I'm thinking like, some. Granted, DLC kind of fixes that a little bit, but I wouldn't be surprised if there is some more like another adventure in Paldea, right?
Another DLC.
Essentially, another DLC, probably something a little bit grander, right? I mean, another set of DLC would be great, or Scarlet and Violet 2, a new game entirely. But I think something like that is just as possible.
I think that's 2025.
No, 2025 is Gen 10. That's Gen 10. That is just the schedule they are on. 2025 is Gen 10.
Yes. Okay.
But I wouldn't be surprised if there was like a DLC pack 2, or if they were just, something else with Paldea. I don't know. I think also though, in that same vein, because I think that's a boring option, honestly, it's just more Paldea.
The Pokemon Company has stated that this year they want to do more things that'll keep Pokemon relevant for the next 100 years or so.
Yeah. I did see that.
In my mind, that tells me one of two things. One, there's going to be a brand new spin-off game.
Oh, no. We're not on spin-offs yet. Let me finish my main line, and then we can talk about spin-offs. We can talk about spin-offs.
Okay.
The last thing I think for mainline is very potential, is a very fun idea of I think there could be either a Kalos remake, which would kind of be out of left field.
I don't see that.
But even just something with Kalos, like I wouldn't be surprised if something Kalos happened. And a little bit of my evidence comes from they did this. They kind of telegraphed BDSP in the Sword and Shield DLC based on what they brought back and what they didn't bring back.
Mm-hmm.
Kalos is, I bring up Kalos for the same reasons, because if you look at the legendaries that have come back in Scarlet and Violet and the legendaries that they left out, they're not catchable. The only ones that they're really missing are Yveltal and Xerneas. And then on top of that, there's that list of like six Pokemon that aren't available on Switch.
Yes, that list is Patrat, Watchog, Pansage, Simisage, Pansear, the monkey line, I believe Furfrou. And
Furfrou, who is not in a Black and White remake. All those other Pokemon are also available in X and Y. So I wouldn't be...
Well, are we also missing Deoxys or no?
No, Deoxys is available in Scarlet and Violet right now. You can transfer it in. I think it's very, very, very interesting. Also, Deoxys was available you could transfer it in BDSP. It's very, very, very interesting to me that those are what's left, and we skipped Xerneas and Yveltal. I think there is a chance that we could see something like I don't want to say Kalos remake, because Kalos remake makes me feel old and bad. Like I wouldn't be surprised if there's something with Kalos that's involved. Like if that happened, I would be like, oh man, that's kind of sick. I wouldn't be upset that we missed out on anything, but I think that would be a cool game to get a remake of, or a Legends game, or whatever else they want to make.
I don't know if we need a remake of X and Y yet.
You can say that. I don't think we need a remake of Black and White yet either, but here we are talking about one.
Yes.
I think most remakes are kind of unnecessary, especially at the speed that they come out.
Yeah, they just need to release them all in the Virtual Console and get it over with.
Honestly, that's what I was going to talk about as well as a possibility for Pokemon Day. is they finally give us Pokemon on Nintendo Switch Online. I'm so peeved by that, especially with the 3DS eShop getting shut down.
Yeah.
I really, really want at the end of the day, I would love for them to give us Virtual Console for at least Gens 1 through 3 with Pokemon Home compatibility.
Yes.
I'm dying to play. Like, I would set myself on a mission to go through every gen if they release the gens and have like, I want to start in Gen 1 in Red and Blue and take those Pokemon, move them to Johto, rinse and repeat, take those Pokemon, move them, and then have, badges and the medals and ribbons for all those versions.
I think they just need to do it at some point, especially with how they have been telegraphing that Bank is going to get shut down eventually. I think it's something that definitely needs to happen.
Yes. Now here's an idea that we haven't discussed, and I haven't heard anything this might be the case, but why not? Another stadium / revolution or whatever.
So, all right. So are we going to spin-offs? Are we in the spin-off area?
No, this is the spin-offs because this was on my list too, Jushiro. So,
yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, this was on my list.
So when I think spin-off, my mind immediately goes to, all right, they're not going to just port over one of the old spin-off games. I mean, they could. And granted, I would love it if they brought back XD and Coliseum and whatnot. But what I think is more likely is they're either going to create a brand new spin-off game, or they're going to do a newer version of it. And if they're going to do a newer version of any spin-off game, the one that's been hyped up the most and people want is Battle Revolution Super or Deluxe or Plus or all the words.
Battle Revolution / I think you do better with the Pokemon Stadium branding than Pokemon Battle Revolution, if that makes sense.
Sure, I'm just stating that battler.
Like Pokemon Battle Revolution would have probably done better if Pokemon Battle Revolution would have been called Pokemon Stadium 3
or Stadium Revolution or something. Anything.
Yeah, or Pokemon Stadium Revolution. That's actually a very good name. Claude, we should work for them.
Yes, we should.
But because I think this is something I think if you look at the Pokemon spin-offs that they've kind of rebirthed recently, they rebirthed Mystery Dungeon, which is very acclaimed. They rebirthed Pokemon Snap with new Pokemon Snap, which I think was actually a pretty good spin-off game.
I think so too. Mm-hmm.
I really think that if we're about due for them to try to do something nuts like that again. And I think Pokemon Stadium, X or whatever, Pokemon Stadium, new.
Yes.
Is what we're looking for. And honestly, I think it's something you could do where you could just combine it with Pokemon Home.
Exactly. So you can transfer in your old Pokemon, play with them in this battle thing.
This fixes the Dexit problem. This fixes the Dexit problem. You know what I mean? So I think it's a huge win. And
that's the thing is you don't have to. And the thing is, the only thing is you'd have to have all the Pokemon in the game. And agreed, that's all you have to do. There's no real story. Your story can be as loose as it was before, where it's, we're going to battle these things, or here's your minigame.
It's a model deposit. Like, you literally just take the models from Scarlet and Violet, and you finish getting the rest of the models done. You don't even need to have all the you don't have the walking animations done like they have now for all of them. You could just put the battle animations in, and I think you're fine.
And then all you have to do is just go off of what you did in Revolution, where it's, all right, here are the 10 different cups that you can compete in. And here are either the rental teams they'll give you, or you can import your own. And you can use all the major things. You can have Battle Spot singles. You can have BGC. You can have full 6-on-6. You can do Little Cup like they did. You can do weather. You can, I'm just going off of the things that Battle Revolution had for cups. And it's all right, well, and you can change it. You can have online compatibility. You can have all the cool stadiums. You can have cool design for characters. It gives you a new way to play the game.
The only problem with online compatibility, I think they know that would kind of be eating into their mainline game, which is probably the reason not to do it. Because before it made sense, right? Like we had Pokemon Battle Revolution on the Wii because the games were still on 3DS. It was also still novel back then for our Pokemon to be in 3D. Now that's not so much the case. Because, in all honesty, if they're just gonna put all the Pokemon in it anyway, why weren't all the Pokemon in Scarlet and Violet, right? It doesn't make any sense.
I just think it will be a more concise way of battling.
I kind of agree. As long as the hack checks are good, you know what I mean?
I mean, it would be amazing if they do a stadium-like game where they then set events on. and the rule, the anti-cheat rules are more stricter there, and it becomes like, if you want to participate in the big tournaments or something like that, this new stadium is the way to go. You can't catch Pokemon there, right? You have to use your other games or use rental, but this is the main battling way to do.
I don't know. I just don't see them doing it because I feel like it feels like a lot of work for a lot of nothing. But I mean, I want this. I'm not going to say I don't want this, but
who doesn't?
Right? I want this. I just don't see them doing it. I don't know. There does need to be something which is Battle Tower-esque, right? Because they don't even have that in Scarlet and Violet. There's no battle facility.
Exactly. So that's what they're missing right now.
Yes. I would really like actually not really a spin-off, but like another game where I can transfer things in and do it. And I think it'd be really good, honestly, because then you can solve the whole problem of needing a Nintendo Switch for a lot of people. To some extent, because you could just like bring your phone with Pokemon Home on it and like connect your Pokemon Home to another person's Switch.
Yep.
And you could battle that way on the same console.
Right.
I'm thinking of ways where you could just like reduce, the number of Switches necessary to bring your Pokemon. So
the other thing I will say is there are other spin-off games that they have done in the past that they could, my pipe dream and wish list would always be to get a Pokemon like XD Gale of Darkness 2 or another one of that realm because...
Yeah, that's not happening.
It's not going to happen, but it's a wish list. The other thing is, I think they can do a brand new spin-off game. I think that's also very likely. It's like, all right, we're going to do this new type of game, and that's going to be our thing because they want to do something new that's going to keep Pokemon relevant. That's what they have said in the media.
It was a different quote than... I think you're misquoting it slightly.
Sure, and I don't care how I'm misquoting it, but that's how I'm interpreting it.
Well, I care because I think your interpretation hinges on how you're quoting it.
That's fine.
Which it's fine for you, but I don't know that I want to give that kind of misinformation to the people listening to the show.
Well, fine. They can take my words with a grain of salt for all I care.
I'm gonna go ahead and find the quote, but...
Sure, and I'll keep talking while you do that.
And I'll keep reeling you back.
So... I think they might just do something brand new because, they have tried different spin-off games in the past. Some have worked, some have not. Some are hidden gems like Pokemon Conquest, and some are not, like Pokemon Ranger.
Pokemon Ranger, I think, could work if you change it. If you change
the entirety of it and how you do it, and...
Okay, so I'm gonna read the... I'm going to read the quote. I found it. This was also from like November. This wasn't very recent at all.
2 months ago. Plenty relevant.
2 months ago. But regardless of whether we publicly respond, we're always paying very close attention to the feedback and conversation happening in the communities. There are certain aspects where we can't always be 100% aligned with what part of the community are asking for and what we want to provide. But we do with the desire to keep Pokemon going for a very long time. And I believe that the fans and players are aligned with us in that respect. That was the quote.
Yes, they want to keep it going, and the way to keep it going is to keep things fresh. You can't just rinse and repeat the same...
But they didn't say anything about keeping it fresh.
No, but this is me saying that.
But you did not say that originally, which is what I'm pushing back on.
You can misquote me, or I can misquote whatever it is. Doesn't matter. I still am going to stand on this ground.
Yeah, it does. No, it does matter when you misquote things. You can't say when you misquote things it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It does matter.
To me, it doesn't matter.
That's fine, but you are not the objective center of the universe.
No, but I am going off of what I think is going to happen.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm
giving my opinion.
I'm also trying to push back...
So Pokemon games.
Yeah, and give it more realistic expectations. That's all. I'm trying to also make them somewhat realistic. That's all.
You're right. And my thought is, if they want to keep Pokemon going for a long time, as they have said correctly, then they would do that best by keeping things fresh rather than rinsing, recycling, and repeating the same things, because that will get tiring over time. Would be to create something new.
Have you seen the past 25 years of Pokemon?
I have. I don't think that will survive.
I've caught a Pikachu. I mean, no, the gameplay is just actually done very well. There's actually there's a video about this from like old YouTube, like 2007, I forget his name. Oh my gosh. He used to do a bunch of like Lego stop motion videos, and somebody was getting on him for playing Pokemon constantly when he was calling them out for playing Halo 3 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever the hype game was in 2007. He's just like, how are you playing the same game? And they're just like, you're just playing the same game. And he goes on this huge rant about how Pokemon is the master of its genre. And that is how I feel, actually. That is how I feel.
Oh, no, it is. And granted, I still play it, and I keep playing it, and I will play it for a long time, but I always do something different every time I try and play it. I'm not playing the same type of thing every single time.
I mean, at the core of it, we kind of are, aren't we? Like,
oh, the core is, but, I'm not running through, Gen 4 with the same 6 Pokemon over and over and over again.
Well, no, I think that's the magic of Pokemon, is that you can play it in a bajillion different ways, right? Like, I think that's kind of the magic of Pokemon, which I'm not sure that they quite understand sometimes.
I think that's the secret to a Pokemon game is repeatability. The more you can repeat.
Yeah, replayability. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, replay the game and whatnot, the better the game does. And that's...
I agree with you.
And I'm finding it harder to do that with a lot of the new main series games because, they're adding these DLCs. I don't feel like I can go back and replay it because then I have to redo all this other work again and whatnot. And they make,
You are kind of correct in that regard. I to be fair though, I'd much rather have the DLC than have I mean, it's a hard problem to solve. I would much rather have the DLC than. And
granted, I could replay the game again because Switch gives you multiple profiles, so there is that option. I just thought of that. I'm like,
I agree with you. We're on the same page.
But that's why I'm saying is I think if they do a brand new type of Pokemon game, and the reason what I was trying to get to before is they started this with the sync machine where you were playing as the Pokemon.
Yes.
For a little bit. I think there is a way to do more of a game like that.
They did do that.
Yes, Mystery Dungeon, but...
No. They did. This game exists. There's 2 of them, actually.
You talking Pokken, or...?
I'm talking Poke Park Wii and Poke Park Wii 2.
Okay, and maybe they do more than that and make a new spin-off.
If they can make, a not, childish version of that, I think it could work, yeah.
That's where I was trying to get to, is I think, they have put in place various different things they can do, and I think by doing something new and fun, it would get more people in and keep people around and whatnot.
The problem is typically, spin-off games, one, aren't made by Game Freak themselves, right? It's usually the Pokemon company doing it.
Now, imagine how well a Pokemon, party would be.
I do agree with you. I do agree with you. Pokemon Party, I have vouched for this before, just the mini games from Pokemon Stadium.
Well, not even that. You make a whole, I think Mario Party, but now you just, replace it with different Pokemon, and you're playing...
I agree.
Something like that would sell ridiculously well. It gives you repeatability because it's, various different games over and over again. Something like that where you're doing each level is based on a different gym leader or something like that, and you can make a loose story that can go through it, but something simple like that works very well, and it would be a new game for Pokemon.
Kind of, but yes, I know, I agree with you. That's a good idea. I agree with you because the mini games from Pokemon Stadium are some of the best parts of Pokemon Stadium, right? And I don't see why you just don't do Pokemon Party or just a Pokemon mini game collection like that, where you just make up a bunch of mini games that you can just play and have fun. It's even better, Pokemon Stadium 2, knocked it out of the park, where they let you bring your Pokemon into the mini games, which I think is great.
And to think, they even experimented for a long time with Pokemon Rumble. That's something we haven't talked about, is imagine a new Rumble game on the Switch.
I feel like they killed that off somehow, but I
think they did too, but I'm just saying, they have done these different types of Pokemon games every couple of years, and I think they might give us a brand new one.
I also believe that we will get some kind of garbage shovelware, kind of like Pokemon Cafe Remix or something.
Pokemon Trozy too.
Okay, I would get behind Pokemon Shuffle or Pokemon Trozy.
The Pokemon Shuffle existed and died.
Pokemon Shuffle existed for a very long time.
I know, and then died. I played it in college.
I played it too. The game that I'm really upset died was Pokemon Duel, or whatever it was called.
Yeah, Pokemon Duel Links, or whatever it was.
It wasn't Duel Links. You're thinking of Yu-Gi-Oh, but yeah.
I always called it Pokemon Duel Links.
Pokemon Duel was actually really good. I actually really liked Pokemon Duel because it was literally the Pokemon trading figure game.
Yeah.
That like got discontinued and they put it out on the phone. I would love to see Pokemon Duel come back. I would love to see that. I would love to see the Pokemon trading figure game come back.
I would love a trading card game.
Yes. You know what they should do is they should give us like the mother treatment, where they translated Mother for the fans that wanted it. They should translate the second Pokemon TCG game that came out on Game Boy. Like I would be behind that. I would be behind that.
It was great. Great, and there is I think a ROM that does translate it for you.
I wouldn't be surprised actually, like if we got like a proper Pokemon TCG game though either.
Yeah.
Yes.
With that Path to the Peak series that came out this year.
That would be super fun.
No, they're hyping it up kind of because there's actually there's a promo card that's associated with that.
I have it. The Oddish.
Yeah, the Oddish. Yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised if, they did something along the lines of like the Pokemon, the Path to the Peak series, right?
And that's just and granted, you get a limited amount of cards and you just have to play, that's the way to do it is you limit how many cards you have, make it not a super overpowered format. And, you
just make it standard, but then you add in like I think what you do, we might have to wait probably a year or something for this, but you wait until we mostly have standard Pokemon cards, or standard rotation is mostly just Scarlet Violet cards. Then you throw in some extra cards that are like game specific, and I'm such a sucker for like packing extras too in games. Like remember when you got the original Pokemon TCG game and you'd get the Meowth? Yeah, and then even like when you bought Yu-Gi-Oh games, you'd get like special Yu-Gi-Oh cards from the games.
Yeah, I recently sold a bunch of those off because some of them were worth something.
Yeah, I know, because they're like promos.
And they made like one print of it, and that's it.
Yeah, I know. It was great.
Like,
I'd just be super into that.
I don't know, like that's where I'm looking at with this. So it's like you can easily do a Pokemon trading card game thing. And it's like, all right, cool. It's just going to be like, even if you just took base Scarlet Violet set and then you had just extras on top of it. And like you get a random mini or how you get like a little like each deck is like one of the starters. You can even go with that from Paldea, and you have a choice of those 3 starter decks or something like that. You can play off of that, and it teaches you the game while you play through it. I think something like that would work and get more people involved. Or I'm trying to think of other fun things that Pokemon can do nowadays.
I mean, I think an idea of a TCG game, especially with like how much that game is growing currently as well.
I think it would be a good idea.
It's honestly, it is a good idea. And we are at about that time when they should be able to do it. Because the Pokemon TCG really started picking up once like in-person play started again. Which was about a little over a year ago now, right? It was about 2 years ago. And that's enough time to develop a game and like give us something cool. Give us Ronald again. Like, let's fight Ronald. Bring him back. You play like Ronald's like the dad of like your rival, and that's what I want. I want to go to the tournaments with the obnoxious parents.
I think that's all that I can think of at the moment before we turn this into a 3-hour episode of us just yelling at each other about different things.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's more fun when we yell at each other, though. Like, I don't want people to think that you and I are mad at each other when we yell at each other, because we're not, because this is just me and Claude talking.
I just want to, like, in my mind, nothing matters. We're just having fun.
Yeah, no. Yeah. We are just talking Pokemon, right? Yeah, I mean, I think I've gotten most everything out. Like, the only thing I can think of is maybe they give us, like, a proper new mystery dungeon. Like, I think that's possible.
If we're going to mention the mystery dungeon, I want more than just a go through the dungeon 20 times on a single plane. And it's all the same thing, but it's randomized, and it's incredibly repetitive. I want there to be more than just that.
I really want to like those mystery dungeon games. I've never been able to get into them.
They're okay. Like I played through Mystery Dungeon DX, but not like only through the main story, and I didn't do all the extra stuff because in Mystery Dungeon DX, much of the content is just stuck in the post game.
Yeah.
Like I would say like if you play just through the story of Mystery Dungeon DX, you've probably only played like 30 or 40% of the actual game.
You know what I miss and I want back, and I would be thrilled. This is why I'd be okay now with a Heart Gold Soul Silver remake, the Pokathlon. Just port it over. I'm thrilled. I forgot about that.
No, that's what I want.
I want that with online capability, so we can like have 4 people playing in the. There
you go. There's your add-on
at the same time. Great.
There's your add-on.
All right, I'm sold.
we fixed the perfect game for Claude.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this has been a topic. Please let us know what you would love to see from Pokemon in 2024. We would love to hear from you guys. Of course, we'll probably have another episode before Pokemon Day where we kind of like lock in our predictions, but I think this has been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So we are going to go ahead and kick it on over then, guys, to our Pokemon of the episode. We'll catch you on the flip-flop.
Poke of the episode.
Welcome to our Pokemon of the episode. Our Pokemon of the episode this week is National Dex number 1021, Raging Bolt, the Paradox Pokemon.
Its Violet Pokédex entry says, it bears resemblance to a Pokemon that became a hot topic for a short while after a paranormal magazine touted as the Raiku's ancestor.
You read the wrong one, Jushiro.
I picked the wrong one! Okay.
It's fine.
The Scarlet Dex. The Scarlet says, it's short. It's set to incinerate everything around it and will lightning lunge from its fur, while very little is known about this creature.
Raging Bolt.
They did a great job, I think, with the Paradox.
Oh, yeah.
Dog beast trio.
Yes.
Yes,
I hate the
think
fact
so.
that they're making the Scarlet so much more worth it than Violet.
No,
Yeah,
they look so much cooler, I think. I don't know. Like, I think, I don't know. I don't know how past Paradox Pokemon have just been like kind of bangers.
Yeah.
I hate that it's very one-sided than that, but
Yes, it is. Do I regret getting Violet? Yes. But, I can survive.
well,
Yeah.
I mean, Raging Bolt's really cool. I remember when it was launched and everybody was like really upset that they ruined Raikou, and I'm like, I don't know, this looks kind of cool, guys.
I think it's
Raikou
better.
still exists, people. Raikou's still there. It doesn't ruin anything.
Yeah, no,
it's additional.
Raikou's still there. It's not like this is a Raikou
Right.
evolution or something, right?
Right.
It's a better Raikou.
Yeah,
Like,
it kind of
honestly, yeah.
is.
It
kind of
more
is.
weaknesses and whatnot, but still.
Yeah. It's based on a
fine.
Brontosaurus, which is one of my favorite dinosaurs of all time. Fun fact, I do love it because the Brontosaurus is known as the Thunder Lizard.
Oh my gosh.
So it makes total sense that they made Raikou a Brontosaurus if they were going to make them dinosaurs.
They also
So,
made it a pretty good Pokemon, like 125 HP, 73 attack, 91 defense, 137 special attack, 89 special defense, 75 speed. Like, this
And
is
it
not
has
bad.
And it has its own unique move, which is super cool.
Yeah. Thunderclap, which is like if you're gonna use priority, I'm gonna go first and I'm gonna priority you to death.
Yes.
Yep.
Love that.
I love
So,
it actually. It's really fun for VGC.
But let me tell you that it does for someone, when I read it the first time, I got really confused because it says the move fails if the target is not readying an attack. I thought that meant that it would only hit if people were doing like Hyper Beam or Solar Beam. Make it sound that way, but it's priorities, right?
Yeah. It has to be. They have to be using a priority attack.
Got it. Okay, now much better.
But like if you're playing against like a Tornadus or something in VGC, it's almost always using a
Right.
priority attack.
Or even yes. So that's like so there is a VGC trio of Tornadus, Whimsicott, and Raging Bolt because Whimsicott beats Raging Bolt beats Tornadus, and Tornadus beats Whimsicott. And it's just a matter of like figuring out the pattern of what you want to do there and whatnot. But they before we get into the VGC part of it, they did make a TCG card. Or they just released it.
Well, it's not out yet. It's coming out in the next set in Japan, which is going to be our next set in like March or April.
With our rotation and whatnot. But
yeah, it is the first H block set, so it is going to rotate out E block. No more Battle VIP pass.
Could you go over the card? Because
Yes.
I'm trying to pull
Absolutely.
it up. But
Yeah, this is-
Bulbapedia
it is Raging
Go ahead,
Bolt
Claude.
EX. It's 240 HP Dragon type ancient Pokemon. Its first attack for one colorless. Discard your hand and draw 6. Not terrible if you're going first or second and have a bad
No, not at all.
That's great.
But it's really here for its second attack, which is
Yes.
1 electric, 1 fighting. Huge body Advent, which is 70x. You may discard any amount of basic energy from your Pokemon. This attack does 70 damage for each card you discard this way.
It also says it also says your it is just Chien Pao. You're correct.
it's Chien Pao, but it's 70 and it costs 2 different colors to attack. So it has potential to be very good as 3 retreat cost, which is kind of bad, but like there's plenty you can do with this. Yeah.
It could very well work.
It could work. It could also fail. We don't know yet.
No.
But
I think it's gonna be as meh as I think the Amazing Rayquaza was. In D Block, when they had all the amazing rares, the Rayquaza did something very similar to this, except it was 80x, I believe.
And it cost 3 to attack though.
It did cost 3 different energies because I think it was like lightning, fighting, and grass.
On him. It had to be. I think all energy had to be on the Rayquaza versus on any of your Pokemon. So.
Yes, you are correct. So
yeah, that's it. I don't want to take up this topic with that, but it was just recently revealed and it looks cool. So there's thoughts.
There's a lot of people speculating. I think right now it's still a little too early to try to start deck building for pre-rotation anyway, because like we just keep getting new cards trickled in for this next set, and like one of the cards that probably changes the game entirely just got announced too, which was the super cool Poffin card, the Buddy Poffins. Was that what it was called? Something like that. But it's essentially the replacement for VIP Pass, because Battle VIP Pass is rotating. For those of you who are unaware of Battle VIP Pass, that allows you to pull any 2 basic Pokemon from your deck and put them on your bench, but it only works on your first turn. But that would let you pull like 2 EXs out of your deck and just slap them on your bench. Buddy Poffin now works all the time, but it only allows you to grab basic Pokemon with 70 HP or less. Which balances the format, I think, fantastically. So I actually really love that card design. So yeah, but yeah, I mean, Raging Bolt is exciting. I think it's one of the cooler Paradox Pokemon. And
yes,
it's so cool. It's so cool. I love that Stormcloud's are on its neck too, actually.
Yes.
It's so cool. It's so cool. They did such a good job with it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how they messed it up, but like they didn't mess it up. This is like everybody was complaining, and I don't see why. It looks so fine.
Well, that's what the internet does.
They were just so upset. They're like, "Why'd they do Raikou bad? I think he's fine. I think they made him good.
I think they improved him.
I don't think they stop it. Don't say that. I think they are both equally cool. I think they are both equally cool. But Electric Dragon's also.
I mean, they're
type,
both
though.
Just worse Jolteon, so it's fine.
Oh my gosh!
You just broke my brain there a little bit, Jushiro.
Okay.
We're gonna try something a little bit different today. Instead of giving you guys a team to use Raging Bolt in, right now it's actually pretty prevalent in Regulation F VGC. Yep. So Claude went ahead and pulled together a few cores that it's actually really good in. I've been playing around with it throughout the week as well on Showdown just to kind of get a feel for it. And I don't know, I think it's very good. I really like it, especially with the number of Tornadus that there are right now in the format. It's kind of fun to run. And honestly, I think you could build probably almost essentially like a chalk right now with it.
Yes. So there are, I'm just pulling up statistics from a lot of different F regulation tournaments that I've seen and just looking at the pairs for it. So there are 2 big cores I've seen with or I guess 3 with Raging Bolt. One is Urshifu Rapid Strike, because Urshifu takes care of all the things that Raging Bolt does not like.
Yes.
For the most part. Being Lando, what else doesn't it like? Any other ground type? Anything that can resist...
Yep.
Oh, I
That's
think
true.
Registeel's annoying for it, so you have a fighting type for that. Anything that can take the electric and dragon hits that it wants to do. Urshifu Rapid Strike's been a good pair for it. I've also seen a lot of Rillaboom and or Ogerpon being paired with it. The 2 grass types that matter in this format, pretty much.
Yes. For Ogerpon, are you specifically bringing up Ogerpon like Wellspring?
Yes, Wellspring Ogerpon. The only Ogerpon that matters.
Yes. You are not incorrect.
So, I've seen people run with like Ogerpon, Wellspring, and Incineroar. I've seen Incineroar and Rillaboom. I've seen Landorus and Ogerpon. But there's a lot that goes into, like, there's a lot of varying different things. One of the big winners, or a team that did really well, had Incineroar, Rillaboom, Rapid Strike, and Raging Bolt, plus 2 others that can, come and go. The other one was an Ogerpon. It was just Ogerpon, Landorus, Therian, and Raging Bolt. The big thing is having an Intimidate and a Grass type, because the Grass types are harder for Raging Bolt to break through, so you want to usually pair it with something that can help with that. in most cases, you have either Incineroar that can potentially do it, but a lot of times you still need some other firepower or ice power. Chen Pao is a good pairing for it because it just hits very offensively, especially with the Terra Stellar type. I've seen a lot of Entei's do really, really well right now in the format.
Entei's doing really well. I think it's Entei's doing fantastic.
Entei looks really strong with, just Assault Vest Inner Focus is really good.
Inner Focus buff was the best thing that ever happened. I'm not gonna lie.
I will say, you just need to find answers for Lando. Both Lando T and Lando I are very good in this current format. I think Lando I is...
I think Lando I is actually better than Lando T right now.
They split a lot of things. I'm seeing some more Lando I from this one tournament, but I see a Lando T that did the best overall, so it's odd. You never know.
That's just my opinion.
It all varies. I think Lando I is very good. So.
Lando I is certainly very good. I think the question is which Lando is better, but I think it's situational too.
It depends. If you're running Incineroar, Lando I. If you're not running Incineroar, Lando T.
Yep.
That is literally the split that I'm seeing. Is you don't run Incineroar and Lando T very often.
You shouldn't. I think Double Intimidate just doesn't have the oomph it used to with Urshifu and with Inner Focus buffs. Inner Focus or Intimidate just doesn't have the firepower that it used to.
Yeah. So, and then, you have Fluttermane still running around, and I think most of the Raging Bolts that I'm seeing are either Terra Electric or they're Terra Grass.
Terra Grass for the resist, right?
Well, it's either Terra Grass for resisting Earthquake, or it's Terra Electric to hit very, very hard.
Yes, it really depends if you're running the Thunderbolt, because not all the Raging Bolts run Thunderbolt.
No,
though I think
if you're running Thunderbolt, you want the Terra Electric, because I think Terra Electric Thunderbolt kills Incineroar. Even Spadef Incineroar just dies.
Oh wow!
Yeah, because there's like a Calm Mindset you can do as well, and
I'm seeing but the main there are two moves that are on I think staple for all of that, and that's Thunderclap and Protect.
Yes, Thunderclap and Protect are always there, and then you get to pick
a dragon move. You either pick Dragon Pulse or Draco Meteor. It depends on what your other
pick your flavor.
Yeah, and granted, there are some Assault Vest I'm seeing.
Yeah. Okay. I think AV would actually be pretty good on this. Yeah.
There are better things to put AV on, I think.
Yes, for sure. But I think on if you didn't work already running AV, I think this is a good candidate for one.
Yep. But it can do a lot, and it's one of the new toy syndromes. I really like it with Ogerpon because I like Ogerpon a lot.
Ogerpon's good. Ogerpon is good.
I haven't played enough with Rillaboom to do well with it, but I do like Ogerpon a lot. So. If I were to be running it right now, I'd probably run it with Ogerpon, Incineroar, and maybe Lando I, maybe a Chen Pao, and figure out something from there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the number one item on the ladder right now I just lost it for Raging Bolt. I believe is. Let me look at it real quick. Let me pull it back up. The number one item is Booster Energy followed by Assault Vest.
So the other items that I'm seeing that are doing very well are Leftovers.
Safety Goggles. Yeah, Leftovers.
It has a lot of HP.
Well, the Leftovers is just because it's big boy.
Well, it's big and it's going to sit on the field for a while.
Yeah,
depending on because if you're Terra Grass, you can sit in front of most things and just take hits constantly.
Yeah, a Safety Goggles I think is if you're not Terra Grass.
For Amoonguss.
Yeah, for Amoonguss. Yeah, mostly just for Amoonguss.
It's Amoonguss just
Breloom that show up maybe. I don't know, like Toad's cruel,
I think does it affect Pollen Puff too?
It might. I don't know the answer to that. That's a good question. I feel like that's a usage thing that I've never had to worry about.
Yep.
I'm gonna find out now, but yeah, I don't think it actually matters.
Yeah. There's a lot of options, and there's a lot of very good teams at the moment. This format of Regulation F. While yes, there is like a standard 3 or 4 that are always there. It feels fun.
It does not prevent you from being Safety Goggles do not prevent you from being affected by Pollen Puff, but they do prevent you from being affected by Rage Powder as well.
Oh, Rage Powder. That's what mattered.
Yeah. Rage Powder is the more interesting to me that I have forgotten about because I just always think about Spore and Sleep Powder.
That's the old school in you.
So, yeah, I know.
There's a lot. I'm seeing a lot of Trick Room teams on the ladder right now.
Yeah, Trick Room historically just doesn't do well all the time. Like, occasionally one team will break through. But I would say the vast majority of teams are not Trick Room that, like, win regionals.
I'm looking at one thing I found from one person did a little tour thing, and out of the top 8, I think there were 3 or 4 Trick Room teams. Or I think it was 3.
But how many people were in that? Like, what was the participation rate?
That was a 47. Let me go to the other ones that are high.
Yeah, that's not very high. Like, 47 is not a lot of people.
Give me a second, and I'll find a higher one. How about 119? Or, sorry, let me go to the 248.
That's the one. Do that one. I'm into 240. 248 is a good sample size.
248, Raging Bolt 1, with Rillaboom and Incineroar, Rillaboom, Incineroar, Ogerpon, Lando Eye, Flutter Mane. That
seems very reasonable. That's the team I've been working on, actually, is something very similar to that. So
there's a Jumpluff team, I love that. There's a Sun team.
No, the Jumpluff is the Jumpluff Joe Ugarte?
I have no idea. It says Pengy.
Okay, never mind then.
Out of the top 8, there is one potential Trick Room team. I'm not sure if it's Trick Room though. I think there might be. There's like bits and pieces of Trick Room around. I'm seeing a lot of Registeel though, because if Registeel, if you can like beat a couple of the things that beat Registeel can just Iron Defense and win.
Yep, with the body press
Heavy
too.
Slam, body press. Yep.
Heavy Slam, body press. Exactly. Oh,
yeah, there's
wonderful.
a lot of really interesting teams around right now. So
no, VGC's fun. So is Raging Bolt. But yeah, that is going to be it for our Pokemon of the episode. I'm going to kick us on over.
Do you want to go over EVs and how to build it all, or no?
Absolutely not right now. We could do it later. Maybe next time. We'll see if people want that. But yeah, until then, we are going to kick it on over then, guys, to our mailbag.
It's mail time! Send in your emails! Mail!
Welcome to our mailbag. The mailbag, as always, is brought to you by the fictional energy drink, a Green Tauros, the energy drink that gives you hooves.
Hooves!
And as always, we'll give the Green Tauros badge to anybody we deem worthy. This is the part of the show, the mailbag, where we read your emails and we discuss them, hopefully. So we're going to go ahead and have some fun. Last week, we asked you guys about your thoughts on the DLC. Next week, we want you to write in and let us know what you're hoping for from Pokemon in 2024. So without further ado, we're going to jump right on into it. Our first email this week is going to come to us from Nerb. You've got this one, Claude.
Hey, Puckle Crew. I am really enjoying the new DLC, and it has me excited to come back to the game. I really like how they let you group up for barbecues. It gives my family a good reason to play together. My brother can join us from all the way in Japan, and my son really loves being able to game with his uncle in that way. I also look forward to playing with the others in Puckle Discord. We've actually had a couple of barbecue fun events.
It's fun. It's a good time.
Yeah. I also really enjoy the story. I like how they made Kieran a darker rival compared to recent games. I am not into competitive, but I do like how they made the Elite Four harder. I especially enjoyed Drayton's challenge. Yes, and I think Drayton's challenge is underrated.
I think that's the best one. That's like the best one.
It forces you to go do something else and not just, import your Pokemon.
No, I love that it forces you to, like, just go get a new team. Like, just go get a new team. I love it.
Anyways, the item printer is also really cool. I love all the items that it has gotten me, and it gives me something to do with all the Pokemon drops that I've been building up. It also pairs really well with the recent events of Delibird and Duraludon outbreaks.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that they keep these event outbreaks going, and they definitely will. Overall, it's a fun addition to the game. Look forward to playing with more and others in the Discord. Nerb.
All right. Well, thanks, Nerb. All right. Our next email is going to come from The Real Thintros, and Jushiro's got this one.
Yeah. Hi, Puckle, The Real Thintros here. Happy New Year. I have loved my time with the Indigo Disc DLC immensely. I continue to do so. Scarlet is the first Pokemon game that, for me, really made it easy to learn how to construct Pokemon from the ground up. True. I don't do PvP, and the Heart of the Terra raid dens made it more necessary gain, so I learned what I was doing with natures and IVs and EVs and held items.
Actually, yeah, no, that's one of my favorite things about Scarlet and Violet, is it gave you a reason outside of competitive play to care about those mechanics.
And that's mainly for the raids. But yeah.
Yes, that's why I enjoy raids so much, yeah.
Yeah.
I built my first full team, Monoground, for the DLC and challenged myself to only use this team for both parts. Except for having to catch a few extras for Drayton's trial, I stuck with this team right through, having to learn more about actual battle strategies as well as the 2v2 style, but a whole element of challenge and fun to the game that I haven't felt in years of Pokemoning.
Hard agree. I actually hard agree. Like, this was done so well. Like, I am pleasantly impressed.
Yeah, me too. And yeah. And you taking interest doing the whole ground type, that's just always fun. One of my favorite playthroughs through Sword and Shield was when I used just fossils.
Yeah.
Terrible Pokemons competitively, but oh my god, they're so much fun to play with anyway. Anyway, the terrarium is exciting, even now after finishing all the content. But laying eyes on it for the first time was amazing. Getting to fly around the older maps was a great addition as well. The fly mechanic is also done really well. I really like that I feel like I'm piloting a small one of those. I forgot the word in English, but you know what I mean. Those small planes. It gives that feeling, and I really like it.
I'm very glad that they gave you the ability to actually fly fully in this.
Yes. I figured they would after they just, like, introduced it randomly in that one trailer.
Yeah.
I assumed it would just happen.
It was just a matter of when.
Yeah.
Yeah. From helping fill my slow building living decks with legendaries and starters, grinding to upgrade the biodomes was actually fun, possible solo, but rewarding for joining others, to allow me to farm the rare Pokemons. And even the BBQs and BPs, this DLC felt like it contained a whole new game's worth of stuff to do.
I did enjoy how they tried to make BP not battle points now, like the last two games, and they give them different names, and I find that very cute.
Right. I also wanted to say thank you for suggesting farming the New Year Duraludon, etc. outbreaks for parts for the printing. I hadn't considered this, and mostly avoided the outbreaks. Using your tip on syncing myself to my Pokemon to clear out that bit faster really helped. Also, landed myself quite a few sandwich-less shinies. Of each as well. Stay awesome, the real Thintros.
Well, thank you for that. All right, our last email this week is going to be from Nico. Happy New Year, Puckle. Nico here, hoping everybody's had a safe and restful Ray Kwanzaa. Last week, I couldn't help but notice a communal sentiment that black and white remakes should just be skipped. We just talked about this.
No.
Wow, no!
Absolutely not.
I am part of this community. I understand that each panelist has their own opinions about Gen 5, so I won't go around assuming Puckle hates Gen 5. It's not that I hate Gen 5, I just don't trust the Pokemon Company to do it properly.
No.
You're right, and I don't want a remake, I want not a sequel to the sequel.
But I'd like a little clarity on how we feel about this idea. First of all, do we have any idea how Game Freak and or Ilka could actually make Gen 5 remakes? The entire Pokedex, though ambitious at the time, is pretty small if we're limited to Unovan Pokemon. That is also my worry, is that they only keep it to 153 Pokemon or something.
They can't. Yeah, they can't do that. Not in this day and age.
I assume they'll just add other Pokemon somehow, but it's hard to tell, given their recent need to make the remakes faithful. Also, black and white remakes making them faithful doesn't make any sense in my opinion and will not fly in this day and age of Pokemon. The only Pokemon games in which you cannot catch Pikachu are Pokemon Black and White. The entire Pokedex, blah, blah, blah. I assume they'll just add other Pokemon somehow, but it's hard to tell given their recent need to make the remakes faithful. Personally, I'd want some brand new Pokemon. I like how Oras gave us new Megas that would pull people in, but I doubt they'd try it. Any suggestions about how to fill the decks? I think we still get like the 600 and whatever Pokemon, but I still think that's probably not the way to go. We'll see.
And also, I don't think there's a need to keep them faithful. I think BDSP is a fluke. I don't think they will
I hope you're correct. I hope you're correct, Jushiro.
Yeah, that's what I hope and not what I believe. It's a fluke. It's what happened, and for going forward, it won't be that way. That's what I hope, at least.
Second, how the heck are they going to make a singular game out of Black and White and Black and White 2? This is my problem. This one is actually a mystery to me. Maybe just make the sequel some sort of new game plus? Seems unlikely. Of course, the option of making Black 3 and White 3 is there, but there's a lot of people out there who look to these remakes as an opportunity to play these games for the first time, especially given the price of the originals. Yeah, I know. That is my only reason why I think they could just like make vanilla remakes, but you have to make vanilla remakes of both. Finally, if we're really worried about these remakes, shouldn't we just want them to rip that bandage off? Given the rocky trajectory the remakes are in, I'd much rather a Black and White be used as a stepping stone to try something new, or just refined from their current remake formula. Maybe they learned a thing or two about how that works. Pokemon X and Y is my favorite generation, and I'd really rather they don't remake them until they figure out how to do them justice. Either that, or they'll just stop making remakes right before X and Y, a fitting cruelty for the game that never got to have a third version made. Go ahead, Game Freak, break my heart again. Anyway, this one is going long. I'll understand if it doesn't get read, since it went very off topic, but I expect to bring it up again. The state of remakes is fascinating to me. Hope you all have a great week, Nico. No, it just fit this week's topic, so it was timely. So I appreciate that. No, it was good. But that is those are our emails this week. Mm-hmm. Do we think anybody should get the green Taurus badge? I'm actually letting Nico, even though it wasn't the question, but I think we...
Yeah, me too.
I agree.
I think it summed up our thoughts about a Gen 5 remake pretty soundly. I'm just worried about them not being able to do it right, and Gen 5 just getting misrepresented.
I just wanted to go back to Unova.
You did go back to Unova. You just did in the terrarium. You were just in Unova.
That's not the same, Thatch.
You did
it's
it.
Like saying, that's like saying, no, we got Unova at home.
Yeah.
It's not the same, Thatch.
it might actually be the area from Black and White 2. Which area was that? The nature preserve? There's a map that actually matches up perfectly with the terrarium.
Oh, yeah. Nah, but I don't think it's that.
I do think it's that. I do think it's that.
I just think it's a little Easter egg.
I think that's where it is. I think that's where it is in universe, but I don't think it's like that's still a place where you fly to in Unova, right?
Right.
I do think that's where it is. I just don't think it's
climate change sank it, and that's why it's underwater.
Or they just sank it because they had terra crystals, and like terra crystals are actually far more dangerous than anybody like is letting on.
Right.
One of those things might be true. But all right. That is going to be it. Next week, you can email us at puclpodcast@gmail.com, and you can let us know what you feel about the future of Pokemon in 2024. Yeah. I'm actually interested because I'm sure somebody's going to come with something like way off the wall that we didn't think about.
I hope so.
I think they will. And then Clod9 can fight about that one. And then that is going to be it for that. If you want to keep up with us throughout the week, the best way to do so is go to our Discord at pucklediscord.com. Come and hang out with us, chat. Let us know what you're thinking. You can, of course,
check out the streams that we do.
Yeah. Well, I'm almost there. That's part of my spiel.
I mean, I'm there.
Yeah, Claude's there too. At twitch.tv/thepucklepodcast. I'm back on Wednesdays. Claude is there on not Wednesdays.
I'm there whenever I feel like doing it.
As long as not when I'm doing it, that's fine.
Yeah, well, I can't do Wednesdays besides this past Wednesday, so I'm like, great, perfect.
I know. Perfect. We created the perfect storm then. And you can of course follow us at Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, wherever you do social media. We're probably there. You can of course check out our YouTube at youtube.com/puclepodcast. Is where you can maybe find some stream VODs of us playing the games. Of course, you can also go ahead and help support the show in a couple of different ways. First, you can go to trollandtoad.com to buy all of your cardboard. Paldean Face is coming out in a couple of weeks, so you can go buy some Elite Trainer boxes over at trollandtoad.com using code PucklePod5 at checkout. And we get a little bit of kickback, and you guys get a 5% discount. Additionally, you can also help support us over at Patreon at patreon.com/PucklePodcast, where we just redid all the tiers. So now you get access to a couple of new free shows, and at the $20 tier, you get access to our merch. Right now, this is the only way to get Puckle merch. If any of that merch does end up getting sold on a Puckle store, it is going to somehow be a Patreon original, either with like a first edition stamp or something else to let you guys know that you are the people that are making these things possible. But of course, the best way to support the show is just to listen to it. We really appreciate everybody who listens to it, everybody who supports the show, and we hope to keep up with you guys. So we will go ahead and end it there. I have been Trainer Thatch.
Some say I've been Jushiro.
And I have been Clod9.
And here in the Lavender Town Radio Tower, it's closing time.